Hello everybody, I'm Harsimrat and I welcome you to our session Recap of Accent. Now you've had so many sessions in pronunciation. You've learnt all about vowels and consonants and syllable stress. That's a lot of learning. And of course, you need to practice a lot to make all that learning effective. So this is a little revision session. I'm sure you do a lot of revision in school and college. You do, don't you? Well, it's the same principle here. Practice will make us perfect. So let's revise all the vowel sounds we've covered in this session. Subsequently, we will also revise the consonant sounds. By now, we are very familiar with the word accent. Accent comes from accentuate, which means to lay stress on. Accent is the manner in which we speak. As an Indian, I speak with a certain accent. I come from a part of the country and I speak in a certain manner. So, I may speak with a Punjabi accent. Accent is a way of pronouncing the words of a language that shows which country, area or social class a person comes from. There are different accents in the world like the American accent, the British accent, Australian accent, etc. And these days there's also what we do call Indian English. In our program, we have learnt to speak with a neutral accent. We have to move towards global English. Anybody around the world should be able to understand me when I speak English. The first thing we do when we try to neutralize our sounds is to get our vowel sounds right. Maximum MTI or mother tongue influence is on our vowel sounds. So that's the first thing we have to do. We've had several sessions on vowel sounds. We know what vowel sounds are. The word vowel comes from the Latin word vocalis, meaning speaking. In written English, there are 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, U, but these are vowel letters. In spoken English, there are 20 vowel sounds that are made either by vowels themselves or with the vowels in combination, called diphthongs. Single vowels or monophthongs can be categorized as long vowels or short vowels. For example, I is a short vowel, but E is a long vowel. In sit, there's a short vowel, but in seat, there's a long vowel. Apart from this, there is of course the double vowel sound or the diphthong, which we can see in a word like sight. In our course, we've taken up a selected 14 vowel sounds because we notice that when we speak English, we have mother tongue influence on these vowel sounds. These sounds are the I sound, the I and E sound, the and A sound, the R and A sound, the O and O sound, the U and O sound, and finally the UA, ear and U. Now I'd like to take up a few words with these sounds and I'd like you to practice these words with me. Let's start off with the first sound, the I sound. Please remember to stretch the sound and repeat after me. Right, right, life, life, fight, fight, reply, reply. Next, let's take up the short sound I in words. And please remember, the length of this sound is not more than the length of the click. Insect, insect, indigo, indigo, delicious, delicious. So the I sound is in D as well as Li, delicious. Spinster, spinster, Next, we take up the long E sound. Remember to smile along with the sound. E. Easter. Easter. Breeze. Breeze. Squeeze. Squeeze. Committee. Committee. Now I have an activity for you in which you have to fill in the blanks with the appropriate I, or E sound word. He took off his dash and kept it on the bedside. Your options are tea, tie, lie. He took off his dash and kept it on the bedside. Tea, tie, or lie. The right option would be his tie. Next, a herd of dash was on the ship. Sheep, shop, or sheet. A herd of dash was on the ship. Sheep, shop, or sheet. The right answer would be a herd of sheep. Next, why are you so dash in front of her? The options are shy, sheep, and ship. Why are you so dash in front of her? Shy, sheep, or ship? The correct answer is shy. Next question. She will sit on the back dash. The options are sick, seat, sight. She will sit on the back dash. Sick, seat, or sight? You're right. The correct answer would be seat. Next. He does not eat dash snacks. Your options are fit, freed, or fried. He does not eat dash snacks. Fit, freed, or fried. Yes, the right answer is fried snacks. Next, the batsman dash a run. Your options are heat, height, and hit. The batsman dash a run. Heat, height, or hit? Correct. It would be hit. Next, they think that she dash on every occasion. Your options are lift, leave, or lies. They think she dash on every occasion. Lift, leave, lies. You're right. The right answer is lies. And the last question. She will dash a sweater for him. The options are knit, neat, night. She will dash a sweater for him. Knit, neat, night. The correct answer would be knit. So how have you done in the first activity? How many questions did you get right? Most of them, I'm sure. Well, let's move on with the session and we'll have a lot of more activities for you. The next pair of sounds that we take up is the eh and the ah sounds. In the first sound, there is minimum movement of the jaw and you have to smile a little bit when you say eh. In the second sound, you have to drop your jaw completely and say ah. Now please repeat the words after me. Energy, energy, remember, remember, entertain, entertain, develop, develop. Good. Now let's move on to words with the A sound. Cattle, cattle, attitude, attitude, magic, magic, practical, practical. Good. Now we have another activity for you. In this activity, you have to match the columns with E and A sounding words. I'm going to read out column A for you first, followed by column B. I'll give you a minute to match the columns and then we'll discuss the answers. So, let's look at column A. The first statement. It is made of bread and has filling in between. Next, another word for choose. Next, something that is true. Next, it is a kind of cheese. Next, another word for electronic goods. Next, when you get hurt, you use this. Next, this person asks for food and money. And the last one, another word for middle. Now let's look at the words in column B. Elect, sandwich, beggar, gadget, cheddar, center, fact, bandage. So please match the columns and we'll just discuss the answers. I hope you've managed to attempt the exercise. Even if you haven't, you can just match the columns now as we discuss the answers. The first one. It is made of bread and has filling in between. The answer would be sandwich. Drop your jaw, please. Sandwich. Good. Next, another word for choose. The answer, elect. And please remember, it's with the E sound. Elect. Next, something that is true. Fact. Repeat after me, please. Fact. Good. Next, it is a kind of cheese. The right answer is cheddar. Next, another word for electronic goods. The answer is gadget. Did you say gadget? I don't like it. Drop your jaw, please. Gadget. Good. Next, when you get hurt, you use this. Bandage. Bandage. Next, this person asks for food and money. Yes, the answer would be beggar. So don't drop your jaw. It shouldn't sound like bagger. It is beggar. And the last one, another word for middle would be center. Great. I think that's a very fruitful exercise indeed. And yes, you may like to practice all these words given in your workbooks and make sure that your E and A sound is absolutely correct. Our next pair of sounds is the R and the A sound. R is a long sound in which you have to open your mouth. The A is a double sound in which we have to remember to glide from A to E. Let's take up a few words with the R sound first. Please repeat after me. Afternoon. Afternoon. Pathway. Pathway. Market. Market. Department. Department. Good. Now for the next sound. Remember to stretch this sound. It tends to be too short in our speech. The A sound. A. Shame. Shame. Claim. Claim. Relate. Relate. Retainer. Retainer. Good. And what am I? I'm not a trainer, I'm a trainer. Well done. Now let's move on to the next activity. This is a very interesting activity in which you have to match the countries with the right R and A sounding capitals.
First, I'll read the statements in column A and then I'll read the statements in column B. I'll begin with the statements in column A. The first statement. What is the capital of Taiwan? Next. What is the capital of Bangladesh? Next. What is the capital of Lebanon? Next, what is the capital of Nepal? Moving on, what is the capital of Cuba? Next, what is the capital of China? Now we'll move to column B. The choices are Beirut, Taipei, Havana, Beijing, Kathmandu, Dhaka. Now let's match the countries with their capitals. Let's look at the answers now. What is the capital of Taiwan? Yes. All right, it is Taipei. Next, what is the capital of Bangladesh? It is Dhaka. Next, what is the capital of Lebanon? It is, you guessed it right, Beirut. Moving on, what is the capital of Nepal? Right, it is Kathmandu. Okay, the fifth one is, what is the capital of Cuba? The answer is Havana. And the last one, what is the capital of China? It is easy. Right, it is Beijing. Well done.
So how was the last exercise? You've enjoyed it. I'm so glad to hear that. Now let's move on to our next pair of sounds, which is the O and the O sounds. Let's practice the O sound first. And please remember, your lips must be open in the oval shape. O. often, often. Tomorrow, tomorrow. Authority, authority. Automatic, automatic. Good. Moving on to the O sound. Ocean, ocean. Profession, profession. Polite, polite. Associate, associate. Good. Now let's move on to our next activity. In this activity, we have a story for you, The Crow and the Snake. And what you have to do is listen to the story, of course, but also underline the words with the O and the O sounds in your workbooks.
The Crow and the Snake. One day, a crow built a nest in a tree and laid some eggs. She did not know that a snake had a nest in the same tree. Her chicks were soon hatched and the crow began leaving the nest. One day, she returned to the nest and was dismayed to find one of her chicks gone. She wondered for a long time what had happened. The next day, another chick was gone, and the nest was barren. The crow wept and cried. After some time, she decided to lay some more eggs. But this time, the crow decided to find the villain who had robbed the nest. She perched nearby and watched to see who would make a visit. By and by, she saw a snake crawl out of its nest and eat up her chicks. The crow thought and thought, but could not think of a way of ridding herself of the snake. A fox had seen the snake too, and he said to the crow, "A princess will soon be coming to bathe in the river here. As she takes off her clothes and her chain, you must seize it in your beak and drop it into the snake's nest. It will all work out." The crow did as the fox told her to. The servants of the princess, who had seen where she had gone with the chain, went up to the snake's nest. They began digging in and around the nest, and finding the snake, killed it and took out the chain. And so it was that the crow rid herself of her worst enemy, and from then on lived in her nest in peace.
Did you enjoy listening to the story? I think I enjoyed it myself. But now let us get back to our work. The words that you should have underlined in your workbooks with the O and the O sounds are crow with the O, no also with the O, was, this has the O sound, gone, O sound again, for, long, what, these words have the O sound. More, that's the O sound. Robbed, O. Saw, crawl, both the words have the O sound. Thought, O again. Fork, that's the O. Clothing, now here we have the O sound. Drop, all, these two words have the O sound. Told, That would have the O, gone, the O sound. And the preposition so and would have the O sound, on, the O sound. I'm sure you can hear the difference in the two sounds when I speak. You can also see the difference when you look at my face. The shape of the O and the O is absolutely different. With that, we can move on to our next pair of sounds, which is the short sound oo and the long sound oo. First, let's take up a few words with the oo sound. Troop, troop, soup, soup, lose, lose, Snoopy, Snoopy. Words with a short oo sound. Hooked, hooked, cooked, cooked. And please remember, we would not say cooked as we tend to do in our part of the country. We would have to say cooked. Shook, shook, should, should. Good. That would also have the oo sound. Now let's move on to our next exercise. In this, we have to fill in the blanks with the following words, and all the words have either the oo or the oo sound. I'm going to read out the words first, and I'd like you to speak them out after me loudly and clearly. Foolproof, took, pool, hood, wood, cruel, troop, book. Now let us look at the statements in which you have to fill in the blanks. I'll give you a moment to choose the right answer and I'll give you the solution right away. The first statement, the children jumped into the dash. The children jumped into the dash. Think about it. Yes, the right answer would be pool. Next, he dashed my bat and ball along with my gloves. I'll repeat. He dashed my bat and ball along with my gloves. The answer is took. Next, the dash marched to the border. The dash marched to the border. The right answer would be troops. Next, this plan cannot go wrong. It is dash. This plan cannot go wrong. It is dash. You've got it. It is foolproof. Next, Little Red Riding Dash is a beautiful story. Little Red Riding Dash is a beautiful story. So think about it. You've got it. Little Red Riding Hood is a beautiful story. So hood is the answer. Next, he dash be here in an hour. He dash be here in an hour. The right answer is would. Next, please return my dash by tomorrow. Please return my dash by tomorrow. The correct answer is, it's easy, book. With that, we come to the end of the activity, and I know that you've managed to get most of these answers right. Well done. You're really doing well. With that, we move on to our next set of sounds, the A, ow and oi sounds. Now these are diphthongs or double vowel sounds. We have to remember to glide from one sound to the other. Let's practice some words with the A sound. Flare, wear, careful, snare. What I don't want you to say is flare, wear, careful and snare. We know by now that it is flare, wear, careful, snare. Good. Now let's move on to words with the ow sound. Please say ow. Yes, good. Crowd, crowd, allowance, allowance, proud, proud, shout, shout. Good. Moving on, let's practice a few words with the oi sound. Please say oi, as in boy, boy. Good. Soil, soil, toilet, toilet, spoil, spoil, employment, employment. You may hear people saying boy at times. That's because the oi sound is not correct. It should be simply boy. And employment. In this exercise, we have to fill in the blanks with appropriate A, ow and oi sound words. You have an option of 3 words for each blank. You have to select the right option to fill in the blank. I'll read them out for you first and then we'll discuss the solutions. Let us begin. Andy has a dash for writing. The options are fair, flare and fair. Andy has a dash for writing. Would the answer be fair, flare or fair? The right answer is flare. To have a flair for writing means to have talent in writing or to be a talented writer. Next, her cats dash all day. Your options are bellow, meow or wallow. Think about it. Her cats dash all day. Do they bellow, meow or wallow? Yes, you're right. Cats would meow. Next, he is a collector of dash. Your options are coils, foils or coins. He is a collector of dash. Coils, foils or coins. The right answer would be coins. And what do we call a collector of coins? A collector of coins would be a numismatist. Next, her sister has a dash of pink trousers. Your options are prayer, pear or pear. 2 of the options have the same pronunciation but different spelling. P-E-A-R and P-A-I-R are both pronounced pear. Her sister has a dash of pink trousers. Prayer, pear or pear. The right answer would be P-A-I-R, pear. Next, the loud noise makes the clown. Your options are crown, frown, or drown. What does the clown do? The loud noise makes the clown dash. Would it be crown, frown, or drown? You're right, it would be frown. Next, Raj is a naughty boy. He can dash anyone. Your options are overjoy, annoy, and rejoice. Raj is a naughty boy. He can dash anyone. Would the right answer be overjoy, annoy, or rejoice? Well, since he's a naughty boy, the right answer would be annoy. With that, we come to the end of the exercise and we move on to the last part of the session. Our last pair of sounds in this session is the ear, ua, and ew sounds. Let us first take up the words with the ear sound. Spear, fearless, fearless. Steer, steer. Mere, mere. Now for words with the ew sound. Please repeat after me. Liu, liu. Attribute, attribute. Hue, hue. Cue, cue. Good. Now let's move on to another simple and useful sound. Please repeat after me. Ua, ua. Factual, factual. Casual, casual. Sure, sure. Cruel, cruel. Now let's try to apply what we've learnt in our next exercise. In this exercise, we have to match the columns with ew, ua, and ear words. I'll read the first column for you, column A, and then the column B. Give you a moment to match the columns, then we'll discuss the solutions. Statements in the column A. When you are unable to decide. When you're unable to decide. Next, you wear it on your ears. You wear it on your ears. Next, you find it on the leaves in the morning. You find it on the leaves in the morning. Next, a lady who works in the salon. A lady who works in the salon. And what is the salon? It's where women go to beautify themselves. Next, when something happens slowly. When something happens slowly. And the last one, it was used in the olden times as a weapon. It was used in the olden times as a weapon. Let's look at the words in column B. Beautician, beautician, gradual, gradual, unsure, unsure, earrings, earrings, spear, spear, dew, dew. Now please take a minute and match the columns. I know that you've been able to get these answers. Let's discuss them. The first one, when you're unable to decide, you are unsure. Good. Next, you wear it on your ears. Earrings. Next, you find it on the leaves in the morning. What do you find on the leaves in the morning and the grass as well? Dew. Next, a lady who works in the salon. That would be a beautician. Next, when something happens slowly, it would be gradual. And the last one, it was used in the olden times as a weapon. That would be a spear. So how many of you were able to score full marks in this exercise? Most of you. Oh, all of you. I'm so glad to hear that. Well done. With that, we come to the end of our session, Recap of Accent Part 1. In this session, we've taken up the target vowel sounds we've covered in our course. In the next session, we will be taking up the consonant sounds. So till I meet you again sometime, goodbye.